Welcome to Content Camp.
Hello, everybody, and indeed, welcome to another edition of Content Camp. Today, our special guest is Mike Sokol. Thank you for being here.
Yeah. Thanks for having me.
I think the main reason we wanted you on the show is because you have a lot of experience with insurance and all that numbers and how that works and how you sell it and stuff. So I thought it would be interesting. We can get an inside view on, like, how does someone, like, meet people to sell insurance?
So when I first started, so I've been doing it for 5 years. Mm-hmm. When I first started, the way I kind of started selling was just picking my phone, go through all my contacts, just shoot them a text, a call, email, really all three, just bug them. And then if they responded to me and were interested, I'd get all their information for quotes, quote them up, send it to them. If they liked it and wanted to move forward, I'd obviously get the policy sold and set up for them. But if it didn't go well, they didn't want to work with me, then I'd mark my calendar for a year later and follow up again. You know, just kind of, it's the first few years in the business are tough. Mm-hmm. You're really kind of, you're working hard to get a lot of policies in place. But now that I'm a little bit more established, I have a few more referral partners, people sending me business, whether it be real estate agents or mortgage people, or even just people, even my clients that I take care of. They just like our customer service, and they'll just tell their friends about me. So then I just help them then. So
what kind of insurance do you sell?
Auto and home insurance, renter's insurance, and a little bit of life insurance.
So like something for life insurance, that's like to me, it would seem harder to sell than auto insurance. So how would you tell the same people you told, like, you know, you should buy auto insurance? Would you tell the same people life insurance? Would you give them the whole thing? Or
for sure, yeah. So for life insurance, I primarily try to focus on younger people because that's when it's the most cost effective. So and a lot of people I'm working with now are younger, like around my age, so it works out nicely. And especially if they recently get married, that's like the best time to do it, because then you actually have a reason for the life insurance. Because if you're just going to buy life insurance and you're single, doesn't really make a whole lot of sense, because there's got to be like a beneficiary if you were to die. So that's kind of the reason.
Mm-hmm. And then, so your insurance company you work for is Weaver and Sokol Insurance Agency, right?
Yep.
And if I'm not mistaken, that's a family-owned business.
Sure is, yeah. So my mom's been doing it for 35 years, and her dad, my grandpa, started it 65 years ago. So that's kind of all I've known growing up.
Wow. So, I mean, that's got to be interesting, kind of having a safety net in the world of, what's the word, like your career almost, and stuff like that. It's like, what's that like? You know, do you take more risks, or do you just want to stick with insurance or something like that?
I studied accounting. So in high school, I took a class. It was an accounting class that I really liked, and because the teacher did a really good job, and I was like, all right, let's study this at Purdue. So I went to Purdue and studied accounting at Purdue, and any kind of business degree I think is a good background to have. So I studied that, got my degree and everything. I tried sitting for the CPA exams, which are like these exams that accountants take so that you can do taxes or audits and all this stuff for businesses. But I just never really passed. So there's 4 tests. I only passed 2 of them. I kept trying on the other 2. I couldn't pass them. And I took a job up in Chicago doing healthcare consulting. So I was studying for the exams and working that job at the same time. And it just didn't work out. And I always kind of knew the insurance was the back burner. So I, when the time came and I was ready to quit the job up in Chicago, I called Mom, and she was like, yeah, come on in. She was, of course, very supportive and happy for me to join. And I foresee myself taking over the agency when Mom retires and doing that for the rest of my life because it just the family business part of it is like my favorite part of the job. It's really cool.
So what's it like, kind of like, as you said, having that insurance as as like a base net, like, anytime, like, oh yeah, I got this behind me that I got, like, if I don't like somewhere else, I can always come back here. Were you like forced into insurance, or did you have a choice?
No, I had a choice for sure. I was definitely not forced into it, but I just, always knew Mom did that. So, and then, like, when I liked the class in high school, the accounting class, I was like, I'm going to try this out. And then, it was never really forced. It was more so just something that intrigued me simply by the way my mom's lifestyle. Because we're self-employed, so we don't have a boss per se. We're like our own boss. We can set our own schedule. We can take Mondays off like you do.
Yep.
So it's really nice. And like we don't have to ask for PTO. We can just kind of take our vacation. But although that also kind of comes with a cost because we have to manage. We still have to like manage our clients. So like if they call us, we have to still like answer their calls and stuff like that while we're gone. So.
And then, are you like guaranteed the position at the owner or no?
Yeah, most likely.
So you don't have like any siblings or anything that?
Yeah, a younger brother. I've got a younger brother that he's not in the business right now. I could see him potentially coming in, but it's just me and my mom at the moment. So
yeah. What are the challenges of selling insurance? Like, in contrast of selling cars or selling guitars or something like that.
For sure. So what's nice about it is that most people have a car and a home, or they're renting, right? So like you kind of start with like with car insurance, and then kind of as you get older, you eventually buy a house, and you kind of need both. But the hard part about that is that everyone, like, there's so many different competing companies. So like on commercials, you see like State Farm or Allstate doing these commercials that, like, and that's all people really know. So it's like you're just competing against the other companies that are trying to sell, do the same thing we're doing. So.
How did the company start? How did your grandfather come to be an owner of an insurance company?
That's a good question. I don't know too much about the background. Unfortunately, I need to ask more. That's a good question. So, but I know that I think he was doing a job where he kind of worked up the ranks like a manager of whatever his role was. And then one of his buddies was like, hey, you should sell insurance. So they encouraged him to do it. And he was like, all right, I'll do it. And he American State. So for a little background, we're an independent insurance agency, meaning we can sell and represent for multiple companies. So like you've heard of like State, obviously always see the State Farm commercials, like Progressive, Allstate, like the Mayhem guy. So one of our 4 companies is Safeco, and they're owned by Liberty Mutual. So you see Liberty Mutual commercials too. Like the Emu guy. So Safeco was originally American States back in the day. But then Safeco bought them out. There's a lot of kind of background I just wanted to give you. And my grandpa started working with American States in like a basement, a small little office basement, like probably like, hard to even picture. But he would and then he started doing pretty similar stuff that I did, called all his friends and said, hey, do you need insurance? And it kind of worked out that way. And then he eventually, so being an independent insurance agent, you have to get different contracts with the insurance companies to be able to sell for them. So he, as he kind of continued to get more experience in the business, he started getting more contracts. So then we also work with Travelers Insurance, like the Red Umbrella. I don't know if you've seen them. And then we also work with Progressive and AAA. Those are kind of our main 4 companies.
So we're talking about your grandpa and the business starting. When the business like really got on a roll, like, when did your mom decide I really want to go into, like, insurance? Or was that just it for her? She just knew?
My mom was the same thing with me. So she studied, she wanted to be a teacher. And she was a teacher for like a year at Arlington Tech, I think it was. And she realized it wasn't for her. Kind of very similar to me, I guess. And then she kind of called up her dad, my grandpa, and said, hey, I kind of want to come into the business. And, and grandpa was like, are you sure? He's like, yeah. So same thing. And he was very supportive, and it's a lot of fun.
So when you take over, is there anything that you've been like where your grandpa and your mom have been, we do it this way? Is there anything that you think you would change that would benefit the way you sell insurance?
Not necessarily. We've also got, this is also a little bit of background, but my uncle and 2 cousins do it as well, sell insurance as well. And at one point that we were all together, but I think it's for the better now because you can run your business in a lot of different ways. And I think my mom and grandpa had their own way that they like to do it. And I like their way a little bit. So I'll probably just stick to doing what they did. I'll just probably improve some things as far as like technology, I guess, a little bit here and there, to try and just streamline things, make things more efficient, so I'm not wasting my time as much on little tasks, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. And so how long have you been doing insurance?
5 years now.
5 years. So if let's say I wanted to start doing or selling insurance,
right,
what were the things I need to do to be able to do that? Like, do I need to get a degree in anything specific or anything like that?
You can technically, I think, study insurance and get like a college degree, but it's really not needed. You just got to study for the, when I got my license, you have to have a license to sell, which sounds daunting, but it really isn't. You just go to this class for property and casualty, which is essentially auto and home, for a week. And then after that, you sit for the exam. You got to get like a 70% or better on the exam, and then you get your license. And then you can do the same thing for life and health. So we technically sell health insurance as well, but we don't really sell health insurance. So, but yeah, you just sit for and then the life and health portion's a week long as well. And then you sit for the exam. And then after you do that, and then you start doing what I said right from the beginning, you start calling all your friends and stuff. But if you really wanted to do it, you'd have to join another independent agency. You'd have to have someone, because I was very lucky having my family be in it. So like I had a little bit of financial backing when I started, because we're on commission. We make money on commission. And so it's hard when you don't, and commission means like when you sell something, you get a portion of it back. Mm-hmm. Percentage instead of like a salary where like it doesn't matter what you do per se, you just kind of get that money. I don't know if that helps.
So I'm wondering, what's it like knowing so far in advance that you're probably going to end up doing insurance and selling insurance? Is there a sense of boredom that might persuade you otherwise in the future?
No, not really, because like I said, the family part of it is the best. Being a third generation, like, family business is super cool, and like obviously I hope to get married and have some kids and make it more than just me. And that's what honestly down deep gives me the most like joy and satisfaction, fulfillment, whatever you want to say. It's work is work. Like whatever you do is work. Like you're not gonna like love like we're talking about golf. Mm-hmm. Golf. I love golf, but I also, this is a little backstory. I also caddy at a country club up in Carmel, and I've been doing that for like 5 years, about the same time as the insurance stuff. And but there's like assistant pros that work in the pro shop that like help the members at the country club, and I just see their life, and it's just like they obviously love golf because they're working in golf, but it almost like sucks their love out of like the game of golf. And that's a weird example, but work is work, and no matter what you're going to do, I just find just be able to do it with my family is the best. So, yeah.
So insurance, like, obviously insurance is like, if you get hurt or you crash your car, the insurance that you have pays a certain amount of that, of what it would cost to fix it or medical bills. What's the average that you guys would pay?
That's a good question. We don't really, so we sell insurance. We sell the insurance, get the policy set up. We understand the coverages to a certain degree, but we aren't claims representatives or adjusters, so we don't help settle the actual claim when it happens. So the way I like to explain when we help people on their policies is, like I said, we get them set up with the insurance company, and then if they ever have a car change, like they get a new car or they sold a car, we'll help them process that change with the company. So they'll call our office and we'll take care of that. Or if they have an accident, like you're saying, we'll help them file the claim. Like we can either call the company on the phone on a 3-way phone call, so they kind of they know they have our help and stuff, but or we can just file it online. But that's just, I don't know. We don't know how much gets paid out, to answer your question.
Really? So, like, who does that if it's not someone that sells insurance? Is there some separate company that pays those things?
It's the same company that like pays it, like the insurance company. So we're kind of, the way I also like to explain it to people is that I'm like a middleman between the person who's buying the insurance and the insurance company. So we represent the insurance company because we sell their product to the insured. And then the insured, when something happens to them, we help them get back connected with the insurance company, who their policy is with, who is actually providing the coverage, if that makes sense.
So what you're saying is the person will, whoever needs the insurance will come talk to you.
Yep.
And then you'll relay it to, let's say, Liberty Mutual.
Yep.
And then that happens, and then everything gets relayed through you guys.
Correct, and it just which offers a little bit more of a personalized touch, because it's like friends and family who we end up working with, instead of them just picking up the phone, talking to a 1-800 number. You know how that goes, sitting on hold for 15, 30 minutes. You just call us, and most of the time we're going to answer. If we don't, we're just helping someone else. We're big on customer service. So and when you know who you're going to get, like you're going to talk to either my mom or I, which is really cool, I think. Yeah.
And then, so it's a family business. We've done all that. So your mom decided she wanted to be the owner. Do you just think you just decided, I want to go into insurance, this isn't for me? Or did you have you thought about doing insurance and then you're like, I'm going to do this?
No, I've kind of always thought about, I mean, like I said, I quit my job in Chicago and then joined the family business, and that's just always what I've known, and I enjoy it. So, yeah.
I hear you're quite the golfer. What is it about golf that you love so much?
Golf is a great, it teaches you so much about life. Unlike a lot, I feel like it's true in other sports, but more so, or most so in golf, because, I mean, you hit a shot off the tee way offline, and you can still get back and make par, and things still are going to work out just fine. Mm-hmm. And it doesn't matter how you get there per se, how you get the ball in the hole. There's always a saying there's no pictures on the scorecard. You just write a number. And it doesn't have to look pretty or right. You just I don't know. And it teaches you about patience. Golf is the best.
Mm-hmm. And then with, like you said, there's no pictures on the scorecard. Like, it kind of helps you, like, there's no, like, there are pictures in life, but there's no, like, when you, like, are buried, there are no pictures on how you got to where you were. You're there and you got to where you were. Mm-hmm. You went through life, pretty much.
Yep. And you can always improve. I think that another thing with golf is you're constantly improving. Like you're never like at the top. You never make it to the top. Like Rory McIlroy just accomplished the career Grand Slam, which is a pretty amazing thing, winning all 4 majors. But it took him. You could see when he won the Masters, he was laying there just crying his eyes out. Just like what that meant to him. There's so much pressure on him to do it, and I don't know. It just goes to show you that you can. And even for him now, like he's still playing. It's not like he's stopping playing. Like you just always want to try and be better.
There are a lot of golf courses, obviously. What's your favorite in the U.S.?
The U.S. Okay, well that doesn't help. That I've played or no or
you've played.
I've played. Well, honestly, I just got off a pretty good trip. I visited a friend in North Carolina, which they have a lot of good golf courses over there. And we played one called Tobacco Road, which is designed by this unique guy by the name of Mike Strands. And he's only got like 10 different courses. And this one was just so unique. Every hole was designed so differently and just nothing like any other course I've seen. And my buddy, while we were playing, he was like, every hole out here would be the best hole at a different course, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. And it was just, it was a really unique place, and I had a lot of fun. And what helps is I played well. So,
and my he does an annual golfing trip with a bunch of friends, and he's on one right now. But he went down to North Carolina last year. I'm pretty sure he played Tobacco Road. I'd have to ask him about it, but he said it was really fun, and all the golf courses down there are really nice.
Yep.
Golf is always just the layout on how they do it has kind of fascinated me. It's like you have this long, crooked path with all these obstacles in a way, and you have holes, you have divots, you have puddles, you have ponds, you have sand boxes, bunkers. And then you have this little flat green spot of all the places at the very end, at the little hole. Mm-hmm. And then you you just, just try and make the ball into the hole. And it's like, you do that once? No, you do it 18 times. Mm-hmm. It's like, it's like, that's always, it's like, I feel like a lot of sports are that way. It's just you constantly, you constantly just go through all this whole trial of obstacles and all these things, and try and, I don't know, hit the ball the most. I guess that's most of the time but for golf, I guess not really. I guess for golf, hit the ball the least. Hit the ball the least. That's always been weird to me. Like golf, it seems like the most painstaking, besides boxing, most painstaking just sport there is. Of just, it's like, it's so mental, and I don't know.
Extremely mental.
Yeah.
Because the ball is sitting there still. Not moving. Yep. Like, it's not reactionary like baseball. The ball is just like being thrown at you, and you have to hit it while it's moving. Basketball, you're like throwing something in the hoop, right?
Mm-hmm. And I've asked like about some of my friends golf, and it's like, what do you think the point of golf is? They're like, well, hitting it the furthest. I'm like, that's, in my head, I'm like, that's totally wrong. And then I'm like, yeah, sure. Mm-hmm. But it's like, it's more of a game of strategy, like knowing how far you hit with one club. Because just hitting it the farthest may get you the least amount of strokes, but it's going to put you, it might put you in a bunker or in the pond, or you might overhit the green and have to go even further. And it's more of a game of strategy than it is like a game of muscle. Like quality over quantity. So, yeah.
For sure, yeah. Length helps you off the tee, that's for sure. But then once you get to the approach shot and around the green, it's a lot more touch and picking the right club.
And it's kind of life. Like, you want to go strong at the start. Like, when you're younger, you want to get strong off of high school and stuff. Then you get to college, and you're like, what do I want to major in? Or what do I want to do? And it's like, well, what club do I want to use to get me to where I want to go?
I like that.
And then I even have a shirt that says, and it's a bunch of golf clubs, and it says, life is full of important choices.
Yes, I have the same shirt. Black? Is it? What's yours? Is yours black?
Yeah, it's black.
Black with like the white. Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah. That was like my bedtime shirt.
I can't find it. I think my brothers took it.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to find it.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Okay, thank you so much for being on our show today. It's been an amazing time having you. And if anyone wants insurance, Weaver and Sokol Insurance Agency, that's where you get it, So thank you so much for being on the show and talking about how insurance works and all
A little golf.
little golf too, yes. So yes, thank you very much and have a great day.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Have a great
Lewis.
day.
Thanks, Landon. You guys are going places.
Yeah.
Keep it up.